Hey, how about you, everybody? Welcome into another edition of the Auburn Live Show, recruiting edition. Actually, it's recruiting edition. You might know it as the Cerebral Freaking Pod. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, senior recruiting editor for Auburn Live on 3. And if you're not a member of that site, man, and you're a recruiting fan, you're definitely making a mistake because this is the time to join. This month is going to be jam-packed with recruiting intel, football. I'm expecting some basketball stuff to start trickling out for the month of June. And today we are going to be discussing, looking forward, previewing with two of the guys who know more about it than anybody. Mr. Jhead, how you doing, big dog?
Doing good, brother. Glad to be here. I may or may not be at an undisclosed location where Alvin Henderson's hometown. So,
Alvin Henderson, the top 25 running back who is visiting camping in Auburn on Friday. And if you're wondering who was over there wrestling the mic, that's Mr. Cole Pinkston, recruiting analyst for Auburn Live on 3. How the hell are you, Cole?
I'm good. Just trying to keep this mic in place, right?
Yeah, my glasses.
Yeah, no, I'm doing good, man. Oh, you got the glasses on today?
Well, they got the glare on them, man. I can't see myself.
I know. I do the same thing. I tried it last time. I took them off, and I couldn't even read the bottom line ticker we got going there.
Well, I'm okay if I keep everything close. If I back away, man, it's a little blurry, which is kind of the way I like it with you guys on the screen.
No, you need to with me over here. I promise you that, brother.
So, guys, it's June 2nd. It is Thursday afternoon, June the 2nd, and we are on the verge of Auburn's first high school elite camp, which will take place on Friday. Also on the verge on the same day, taking place is 5 big-time official visitors coming in to campus. So a big weekend in Auburn, and this is just the first of many for this month. There's going to be official visitors every weekend. Next weekend is going to be probably even bigger than this weekend, quality and quantity, although this weekend is not lacking with quantity or quality. Guys, looking at this weekend's official visit, I think this is the biggest story right here. You've got 4-star linebacker Jaden Osbury coming back to Auburn after having come up on Monday to help his brother Austin move in. You got Jaden Osbury coming up from Baton Rouge. You've got Keon Brown, the 4-star wide receiver from Florida, who Auburn offered about 10 days ago, and he quickly set up an official visit. You got 4-star defensive tackle Jamal Jarrett coming down from North Carolina, who has called in Nietzsche Sledge, his brother. Nietzsche, of course, was one of several guys that moved in on Monday, so he'll be on campus. Those two will reunite after having developed a close friendship after meeting at a rivals camp, I think, a couple of years ago. So big visit there. And then you've got N. Jaffrard, big offensive lineman who Auburn has offered. And, if you remember back early spring, he was huge. Like, he was massive. Like, he was almost too large. And Auburn wanted to see him, I think, before they really started to make their move on him. They wanted to see him and how he had slimmed down. And I think he came in cold. What was he? Was he 340? Does that sound right?
Yeah, he's a little above that, I think. But I mean, for his frame, that's he's done some good work to get down to that.
He is a massive individual. Whatever he did, Auburn loved what they saw. I think it was back in March or April, decided to make a bigger move on him. So getting him back on campus is going to be big. And then probably, even though he's the lowest ranked of the 5, maybe M was a little lower than him, but Brock Glenn, the quarterback from Memphis, coming in for an official visit. All eyes will be on this guy because I think he is the most impactful commitment of the class and potentially signee of the class looking ahead. 5 big guys, top recruits, elite talent. Thoughts on this weekend, Jhead?
So I guess let's start off with, it's interesting how they've packaged these official visits.
Okay.
Because you've got your quarterback, which should be the leader of your offense, coming in this weekend. You've got a linebacker in Jaden Osbury who could potentially be the future leader of your defense coming in this weekend. A big, nasty nose tackle, an offensive guard that's an absolute mauler, and a wide receiver that's probably in the mold of a Seth Williams. So as they're going through these official visits, you're going to kind of see these guys group together a little bit. And if Jaden Osbury starts feeling Auburn, well, he's going to start recruiting that large nose tackle in Jamal Jarrett, because that big nose tackle is a smaller linebacker's best friend.
Yep.
If the visit starts going well for Brock Glenn, what do you think he's going to do? Well, he's going to recruit that big old nasty offensive guard and that all-star wide receiver to come play for him. Pivotal visits for both Osbury and Glenn. I think the great thing is you're already ahead of the curve with both of them. This is not their first visit to Auburn, so you're not setting the expectation, which is where we kind of fell short a little bit last year. This was a brand new coaching staff, and when they were bringing in official visitors last June, it was all eggs were in the basket on just getting in the doorway. I mean, branding yourself to a degree for the first time with these kids. That's not happening this time. These are secondary and even tertiary visits for these prospects. And it's just vastly important that they show these guys they're wanted in this class, they're needed in this class, how they transcend to the NFL within their system, everything that they're going to do for them. And if they're smart, they're probably going to sit them down and say, hey, look, I can't really talk to you about NIL, but these are the kind of packages that we have here at Auburn. What do you think? So that's kind of my thoughts as the onset of the weekend, but it's just a really huge weekend for some really big targets.
And, we saw last weekend Rockwez McElderry came in, and he was a lone offensive lineman. He got all the attention. The week before, it was Connor Stroh, got a big offensive lineman, got all the attention. What I noticed about this list, Jhead, is that you've got one at each position.
Yep.
So those guys are going to be one-on-one with their position coach. They're going to get the attention, the meeting rooms, times with the coaches. Going to get it won't be spaced out, man. These guys will get the red carpet treatment from their position coach. Coles, what are you looking for this weekend?
Well, we've talked about having just one guy like you had McElderry and you had Stroh, and it was sort of you could bring the whole staff in and sort of work on him all together. And we talked about how Auburn wants to do that, but at the same time, they are putting together big weekends too. And if you look at the 5 that are there, and I talked about this on the board on the corner the other day, I'm looking at 3 guys right now in Jhead, Brock Glenn, and even Jay Nosberry, who Auburn may be the leader for, right?
Even though the RPM doesn't show it, yes, I would put him in my class.
RPM shows LSU as the leader, and I talked about that today as well. I mean, there's a good reason why it shows that. They also have family ties at LSU. They've made him a priority at LSU. He's right down the road. So, yeah, if you don't think LSU's real competition, they definitely are. But having his brother at Auburn is huge, and his brother has just checked in. He'll be there helping out, I'm sure.
Already is on Twitter.
Oh,
yeah, he is. But that's the thing. You got 3 guys that Auburn probably leads for. I think they can lock Brock Glenn down. If they want Jhead, they can get him, I think. And still working on Osbury, but getting closer. And then you got 2 more guys who, Keon Brown, we're still learning about him.
Yeah.
But Jamal Jarrett, boy, that's a big one. That is a big one.
Yeah.
And you got these guys here, they're on their visit, but could they be helping Auburn too? Because they're so high on Auburn. That's the dynamic where you have more guys there, but you can still be sort of specialized to the one like Jamal Jarrett, who you're still trying to grow interest in Auburn with him. So I think that's how it'll go.
I'm with you, Cole. We're kind of learning on the fly with this Keon Brown guy. He came out of nowhere. I'd never heard of him until Auburn offered him about 10 days ago. Jamal Jarrett. Jamal Jarrett. Now, Georgia feels extremely confident with him. Yeah. And if I was going to make a pick on him, that's where I would have it right now. Yeah. But Cole, these might have been your words, but if I'm making a class projection right now, Jaden Osbury is one of my linebackers, and Jhead is one of my offensive linemen, and Brock Glenn is my quarterback. Jhead, do you agree?
100%. And I believe you've got the more solid intel on Jhead as far as that's concerned. If Jhead's a take, he's in this class 100%. I know Glenn and Osbury are takes. There's no question.
Yeah.
To me, it's so clustered right there at that offensive guard position with a guy like Jhead. You've got Clay Whedon from Florida, Rockrez McElderry.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do, isn't it?
It is. And it is DJ Chester. So you got a massive group of guys that are all Kelton Smith, that are all similar skill set. And who's going to be the take out of that group? That's what I don't know. I do know that the reviews, like you said, were very positive on Jhead. And I do believe he was at 360. I think that was the weight, Cole, that you guys had.
Yeah, I think that's what he's at.
6'6", 360, but down from 400 plus.
Right. Yeah. I knew it was something.
We haven't seen him since he was on campus. What weekend was that, Jeffrey?
I thought it was it wasn't back in January, was it?
March.
It was March.
Okay. It was the A-Day, was it not? No, it was before A-Day.
No, it was March 9th, I want to say, or maybe April 9th when they had.
I got you. I got your big dog because of the On3 database, man, being able to pull up these visits and stuff. The recruiting profile. He was here March 19th. He was here January 29th. He was here January 29th for that big junior day. And I think they were like, damn, that dude's maybe too big. And they wanted to see him. And he came back March 19th, and they were like, okay.
And he was at a couple of games too. We saw him on the sideline.
Iron Bowl and Georgia.
I got a picture of him then. I was comparing the picture of him then and to the one now. Yeah, he's definitely trimmed up a lot. But, even though he was big, he wasn't like you see some guys that are sort of overweight and somewhat sloppy looking, and you go, okay, that's going to take a lot of work. Well, you looked at Jeffrard, even back when he was as heavy as he wasn't sloppy. He's just overweight. He just needed to lose some weight to get quicker. But, I mean, he's always had the great frame. They knew looking at him that if he puts in the right work, he's going to be perfect. He's going to be exactly what he needs to be as far as frame goes.
I tell you what, man, they're recruiting some hosses. Typically,
I know
that I would put in the tackle category, but they're the guards, the interior guys that they're recruiting, sans Braden Joyner and Connor Liu, the two centers, I think could possibly play. Okay, Braden's not short either, but Connor is, right? He's more prototypical center. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, they both kind of are. They're about the same.
Okay, but man, you're talking. I mean, you don't know how many 6'6" guys that I find out Auburn's looking inside guys.
And I talked about that a little bit on our call-in show, or maybe it was last week's podcast, the size of the overall offensive line. That was something that when Wilfred came in immediately, just this type of style that they want offensively, the kind of offensive lineman that they want philosophically, they're just a little bit larger. So a guy like Brodarius Ham, you know what I mean, if you were recruiting him now, he'd 100% be an offensive guard, and that's how he would be treated. And in my opinion, if Brodarius Ham is developed as a guard, he's probably in the NFL right now. That's my honest opinion.
Yeah. He was the draft pick, right?
By having to play offensive tackle purely out of need.
Yeah. Well, that's the goal, right? Try to avoid that from happening anymore.
Yes.
That's been the case. You saw guys kind of out of position at times, and that's what they want to avoid. And they're going to try to get as many as they can.
Brodarius, I think I saw he signed on with a USFL team.
He did. I think, didn't he sign on with the Birmingham Colts? Isn't that where he signed on with? I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I got that wrong.
Was that Birmingham, England? I'm serious. I thought that was Birmingham Stallions.
Stallions, yeah.
It is the Stallions. You're right.
Colts. Come
on, brother.
Dude, Birmingham Stallions goes back to my childhood days, man. That was old school Birmingham Stallions. They used to be great. They used to be really good. I used to go to Legion Field and watch them play. No,
they're good now. Aren't they doing? Aren't they in the playoffs? I haven't really kept up with it, honestly.
I don't think they're in the playoffs just yet. I think they still got some more games to play.
Gotcha.
A couple of tomorrow's camp, the first of 3 high school elite camps. They're going to have another one next week. Pretty much one every week for the next 3 weeks. They're going to have one June the 6th, which I think is Monday. Is that right? Friday. Then they're going to have Monday. Couple of 3 guys that we know that are coming. I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Or is we mentioned Alvin Henderson, the 10th grade running back from Elba. Then of course you've got Prentice Air Nolan, 2024. I think he's the number 8 quarterback. He's from Langston Hughes. Auburn already has a commitment from Terrence Love. 2 guys, Jelani Thurman, Joshua Horton, both coming for official visits Friday week, June the 10th. Those 2 guys on the Friday camp. And then Monday, you've got the very intriguing JUCO kid, Samaj James, who I thought was a fascinating. I talked to him for 15 minutes the other night. It was fascinating just listening to his story because the kid played last year at Fort Scott at 16 years old. He was 16 years old. So he was at St. Pope, something shit, what's this? Dang it. I forgot which one. I think it was Pope High School down in Florida. And he had played with Terrion Arnold and
Oh yeah.
and it was
I remember his name as a high school recruit. I mean, you don't forget that name, right?
Well, he was going, yeah, right. Shamar James is who I was first initially thinking of, the kid from Faith. This kid is Samaj James. He said he was set to go to Georgia to play nickel for Kirby Smart. That's how good he was.
Yeah, I remember actually Georgia was a school that was on him, and then Oregon, because I think Dan Lanning was one of the big. It all kind of happened pretty quick, but he never went anywhere. He went to JUCO, you know. So.
Yeah. He said the counselor, the guidance counselor, whatever, came to him and she said, you know, are you Samaj? Because everybody's been wanting transcripts of you. But he had been to a previous high school, and she goes, what were they putting you in? Like, what classes? And I had you in like 3 PE classes. And he was like, man, I was just doing what I was told. Right. And she said, well, you're, you know, a partial qualified. You're not qualified to go to college in, I guess, 2 years. He was a junior. He does all these online courses trying to get eligible, and was apparently late in turning in one of the things and realized that he wasn't going to be eligible. So he dipped out and went to Fort Scott, played last year. He's I guess he was young for his grade anyways, but he turns 18 in October. So he turned 17 this past October in the middle of the season for Fort. He was 16 years old and playing last year at a prominent JUCO who plays out in Kansas teams, Butler, all those guys.
Yeah.
And then Fort Scott had a kid die on the field. I had forgotten about this. I don't know if y'all do you remember a guy last year at Fort Scott? He died on the field. And
vaguely.
Me too.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You always hear something. I mean, I vaguely remember it. I don't remember doing much research into it, but yeah, I was like, oh yeah, kind of remember that. Well, they shut down the program at Fort Scott after that. So now he's at Butler. He's 17 years old, turns 18 in October, and Auburn's kind of been pursuing him since January. He's originally from Tallahassee, going to get him on campus Monday, and he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on, man. He's young, he's talented. A lot of schools are after him. Nobody has really offered yet. And I think most people want to get him on campus, including Auburn, but definitely a guy to keep an eye on next Monday for the second high school elite camp. And then, of course, after that, you've got a couple of, I think you've got an O-line, D-line camp. But what I'm really looking forward to is Friday week, man. That's next weekend's official visitor list. When you've got Hunter Osborne, you've got Keldrick Falk, you've got Jelani Thurman, Joshua Horton. What's the linebacker? CJ Allen.
Well, and then you got the big one out of Denmark too, right? Isn't
D. Creighton?
D. Creighton, yes. There's 2 linebackers next week, yes. So Christian Robinson's got Jaden Osbury this weekend. He's got CJ Allen and D. Creighton both next weekend. Loaded group. I think we named all the June 10th because there's 5 this weekend, 6 next weekend as it stands now. Keldrick Falk, Hunter Osborne, Joshua Horton, 3 stud defensive linemen. We'll leave them in that category. Falk as an edge, Hunter Osborne. Is he kind of a Colby Wooden, a 5 kind of guy?
Yeah, he's a 5 tech.
Yeah, okay. Definitely.
And then, of course, Joshua Horton, who's your traditional more 3. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm working on my numbers.
Think like Zeke Walker with Horton.
Okay. And you've got CJ Allen, D. Creighton. And then, so all of those are defensive. I just noticed that, except for Jelani Thurman. You got 5 guys coming in next weekend on defense, studs, and then Jelani Thurman.
Yep.
And I'm sure Chance Love will come over as well.
I saw today that Jelani Thurman is now wanting to have a July decision. So very important to get him on campus this weekend, make that impression. It's really strange how the June OVs have just started to dominate. I mean, within the last 2 or 3 years, Jeffrey, this is really kind of a new fad where coaches want to be able to devote more time to, prospects that they're really interested in because it's so hard in season to have these officials to be able to this kind of time.
And get 48 straight hours.
48 straight hours. Whereas we used to have Big Cat at the very beginning of the summer as our opening pitch to kind of get people interested. Now this staff is using camp season and official visit season, and then they're going to put Big Cat Weekend in July. I think that's a fantastic way to close the summer. Just I guess the phenomenon of the June official visit. I mean, and it's everywhere.
Yeah,
I'll be curious to see how many of these OV guys, which most of the OV guys are your very, very top targets.
Yep.
How many of those guys are going to come to Big Cat too? I mean, surely
and then come back for a game.
Yeah. I mean, look, they're going to keep visiting. And most of these guys are from Georgia, Alabama. In fact, all 6 guys we named for the June 10th are Alabama and Georgia prospects.
Yep.
So, I think they're going to keep coming back, and that just I tell you what, the June official visits have gotten so big that even Dabo's starting to do them.
Yeah,
and he was against it, man. And I don't mean that it's not like a shot or anything, but it's like he said, you know what, I'm gonna have to do this. I have to because everybody else is getting them in. I have to have these official visits right now.
Yeah, he's learning that too about his offers as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he's having to, right? I mean, he thought he was going to be all, hey, I'm not offering to her. Hey, while y'all were talking about, Cole, you're talking about Alabama and Georgia, I just went back over the list for this weekend.
Yeah.
Not one person from Alabama, but 5 different states: Louisiana, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee.
Yeah.
All the surrounding states.
Yeah, all feeder states for our recruiting footprint. And you just hit the nail on the head, Jeffrey, because we've done such a better job this year utilizing our feeder state schools.
Yes.
Last year, I mean, you were bringing in guys from New York and Nebraska and Pennsylvania and California, Oregon. And they probably were going where they had relationships, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, sure.
Those are the guys.
100%, yeah.
But you see the difference. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear, this is going to sound like an excuse, but you see the difference that a year makes in being able to recruit to Auburn for a brand new staff and how you can cultivate and develop those relationships over a season. If this staff can win the proper amount of games and make some noise this fall on the field, just think about how much further along we're going to be even next year if you're showing that upward trajectory.
And they've still got the connections up north. We just saw them offer from Philadelphia the big lineman that's committed to Naquil Strand or something.
Yeah.
Should have wrote a story about him. But then you think about, you got Sidear Mitchell and Phil Pecciotti coming in later this month. Mitchell from New Jersey, Pecciotti from Pennsylvania.
Yep.
I'm trying to think who else. So there's you, and of course Connor Stroh's already come in from Texas.
Yes.
Right. Well, of course, you even hit one in Nebraska last year, Texas. You got Louisiana. So it's not wrong to go out there. It's just your emphasis needs to be on your state surrounding, and a lot of people were upset about that because it wasn't really happening. And now you can't really argue that anymore because it is. And you're still going outside your comfort zone too. So that's okay. I mean, you widen your net, and if it's not working out, then you know who your top targets are, so you keep coming back.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance. It really is. It's a delicate balance to strike. And you're right, Cole. I mean, I think the importance of recruiting that regional footprint is you can get those guys on campus multiple times over. And when you're an ascending program like Auburn, you need guys on campus as much as you possibly can. It's hard to get guys from New Jersey on campus multiple times. It's hard to get guys from Nebraska on campus multiple times. So if you don't slam dunk that OV, you're just kind of at a disadvantage with these kids that are local. And if you can get them on campus multiple times, even if they have a subpar visit, you can rebound on that next time around. Yeah. So that's just kind of the importance of it, the way I think I see it, and you guys as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Naquil Trand. I think I said that, didn't I? The kid from that's committed to Colorado from Philadelphia. I'm just looking back over some of our stories for the past week. We kind of skipped over Jhead Nosberry coming, but for the record, he did come with Austin. Cole kind of threw the corner a bone earlier, saying that it was a possibility. He did come with his brother Austin to move in on Monday, then turned around and drove back to Baton Rouge, and then is now turning around and coming back with his mother and father, I think.
Yes.
which will be very important. You know, as many times Austin came to Auburn last year, which I think was 2 or 3 times from Baton Rouge, built a great relationship, felt very at home. Zach Etheridge was huge with him. Austin didn't come. He didn't. I mean, it's not like every trip that he came, so he wasn't making every trip that Austin made. So it was important. It's important to get him back Monday, see what these new freshmen, the digs that they're in. I mean, they got a nice setup, big dog.
Brother, I promise you, Conway Acres wasn't that nice for me when I moved to Auburn. I promise you that.
I was in that Tiger Terrace on West Glen, son. I had the 1 bedroom with the wood panel walls, man.
Yeah. I hear you, brother. I hear you. And
wood panel walls. And then, hey, let's don't forget Miles Graham, who came in. Who was it? When did Miles Graham? Miles Graham, 2024. Probably. I think he's the number 3 linebacker. It was the same day because Jhead Nosbury is the number 3 linebacker in 2023. Miles Graham is the number 3 linebacker in 2024, and both were here on Monday. Miles Graham is the son of Omar.
Yes.
Omar Graham, who played with Cadillac Williams at Tampa Bay. And Miles like, man, that's Uncle Cadillac to me. That's Uncle to me. Like he's got a very strong relationship with Cadillac, on top of a very strong relationship he has with Christian Robinson
and Damari Austin.
Damari Austin, former high school teammate of Damari Austin. So very familiar to this guy, and he's a guy that we'll be talking about next year. Saying, "Oh, remember he came and this was the second visit of the spring. He came earlier in I think it was March or April. So he's got some. Of course, in-state Georgia is going to be tough to beat. I'm sure Alabama will be in there. Ohio State, Clemson." Everybody's going to want this kid, and Auburn has gotten in on him, got the relationships developed, so it'll be fun watching his recruitment next year and seeing how, man, we talk about it every time we talk about the potential of this class, but, man, you make some noise this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Make some noise this year.
Yep. That's the key. That's the key.
Get some juice. Yep. Get some juice on the trail.
Yeah. Now, I've got a little update. We talked about Charlie Jones. I was going to kind of merge into the transfer portal because it's been kind of quiet. It's been kind of dead lately, last couple of weeks. Charlie Jones, the wide receiver from Iowa, was interested in Auburn. I think we talked about his possible Purdue commitment, although he hasn't publicly said it. There's been reports, but I will say that even if he hasn't confirmed it, Auburn is no longer a factor. He's done. It's out.
Yeah.
So we'll move on there. I don't have anybody else. I'm gonna be honest with you here. Not full disclosure, but there are some guys that have been in the portal a long time. Some very talented guys at very talented and highly needed positions for Auburn.
Yes.
They're still in there.
Yes.
And if they're working towards getting eligible to transfer to Auburn, wouldn't that be interesting?
Yes, it would.
So I got a couple of names we'll be keeping track of. And so although it's been quiet, it's not completely dead. There's still some things in the back. And it may not amount to anything, right? But I will say that there are some things in motion, or at least some things, people being tracked.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it at that for now. It won't be too much longer. We'll know whether or not it's happening, right?
Yeah, it'd be like a month.
Yeah, I'd say August 1st, probably. So probably a month and a half, you'll know, whether or not that's going to materialize or not.
If so that'll be something we'll be tracking. Because at this point in the transfer portal process, if you haven't transferred somewhere, there's a reason that you haven't, and you're probably working on getting your transcripts in order to be able to transfer, or you're a grad transfer who's going to enter late, kind of like was the wide receiver from Georgia, Demetrius Robertson.
Yes,
did a year ago, kind of jumped in late and worked out perfectly for Auburn. Auburn needs another Demetrius Robertson in this class. They need a grad transfer who can come in and play, and he did. And it didn't matter that he came in August?
No,
right before the first week.
Yeah, had zero bearing. And look, he wasn't all world by any means, but he was productive, made plays, and we could use an extra veteran in that room to help bolster the floor.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, and I tell you what, guys, I saw this. I got a question for you, and it's from subscriber LJSRHS1127. He asked this question on the corner, and I thought, man, that would be a great thing to talk about on the Shrivel Pod, throwing it at Jhead and Cole as well. I think he wants to know, like, how many at each position do you see Auburn taking in this class? And I started going over in my head, well, 1 here, 2 there, 3 there. And I thought, let's bounce that off of each other. Let's see. I'll tell you what, I'll go. We'll just start at quarterback. I think we all agree Auburn's going to take one quarterback.
Yes.
One.
Yep.
One
Quarterback. We all agree Auburn would love to take 2 running backs.
Yes.
Yeah, I would even say it doesn't go above 2. I'd say 2. And I don't think it's going to be 1 either. I think it's going to be 2 and a deadline at 2.
If Auburn were to get 1 running back, what's the running back room look like next year? Tank's gone, right?
Yeah.
So you got Jarquez Hunter.
Yep.
Hunter Austin,
Yes.
Sean Jackson.
Jordan Ingram.
Yeah, Jordan Ingram.
Which is why you're pushing for 2.
Right on. You want to push the average guys down the depth chart a little bit.
Yeah.
You don't want the average guys rising to the top.
No.
So
Right.
I agree. I got 1 running back. Wide receivers, which, shit, man, I think you take as many good ones as you can.
I think
When I say that, I mean 3 to 4.
Yeah, I got
3 to 4.
It really well. I guess I'm going to go with 4. If you're going to count transfers, I think they're going to try to take 3 high school guys and a transfer in this cycle. I honestly believe they're going to go out and target 1 to 2 transfers, so it may be as much as 5. If we can fit it all underneath the 85.
We're not necessarily predicting, but I'm just going to predict 3. That's my prediction. 3 high school signings.
Yeah, 3 definitely high school. And if we're factoring in transfers, like I said, I'm gonna raise that number to 4.
Now, of course, I think they could go to 4, maybe even 5. But I just my prediction is that they get 3 from the high school ranks.
Now, Jay Lee, are we talking Shirley High School when we're doing this? Is that what we're going to?
We're talking the end of the start. A year from now, how many Auburn wide receivers have reported to campus from the 2023 class? 2023 class.
Yeah, I'll go 4 then.
Yeah, I'll go 4 then, because if we're going to include transfers, I'm definitely going 4.
And I'll still stay at 2 for running back.
Oh yeah, I just think that's where the number sits.
Yeah.
Tight end looks good. The tight end room looks really good. I still think you want to take 1.
For sure.
Well, I mean, a guy like Jelani Thurman is a tight end, but he's not exactly,
traditional.
He's a hybrid guy, so he's kind of got his own, thing going there. So you take him. Also, I honestly think if they find a tight end, a traditional type tight end, more like Luke Deal, a guy that's good on the line of scrimmage that can block and also can get out in routes and things, I think they'd go with that too. And Jelani Thurman, if they can get them both.
Luke Deal being like Reed McKeska, who just
Reed McKeska, yeah. They just offered another guy too, I believe,
up in Cincinnati. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
From the Midwest.
That's what leads me, because they keep kind of offering guys and targeting guys, and that just leads me to believe they do want a traditional type tight end too, if they can. I don't think it's like a must, but they would definitely take 1.
Yeah. So then 1 to 2 for tight end, because if you looking at Jelani Thurman as a hybrid, which I think we all are, then 1 to 2.
Offensive line, we all agree it's going to be a big class. When I say big, I mean a total line replacement, at least on paper. Right, I'm thinking a center, 2 guards, 2 tackles, maybe another tackle or a guard, a best available. That's how I'm getting to 6.
I feel like it'll 8.
Be. Oh shit! Really?
If we're going to count transfers, I'm going 8 guys in this offensive line class. I think we're going to take
8 new names on the 2023 roster at offensive line. You know what? That's a good way to look at it, Jhead. I probably say Auburn takes 5 to 6 and then adds. Yeah,
2 to 3.
I can see it.
I'm gonna go 9. I'm gonna go 1 more, and I almost went 10, but I'll go 9. You brought me down a little bit.
I don't think you can. Here's the problem: is getting that underneath your 85, because you can't take away from another position. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're losing 6 OL after the season. Your numbers in that room still aren't even where you want them, because you've only got 15 guys. You technically want it probably between 15 to 18. So I'm with you, Cole.
Well, don't forget too. I mean, you're gonna. I don't see a scenario where you don't have a few hit the portal from your own roster.
Right.
Sure. Right.
I mean, so because somebody's not going to play, and
it could even be offensive lineman, even though you got. I mean, my gosh, the door's wide open for offensive lineman, but it could somebody could leave. I mean, you never know. Nobody thought Tayshawn Manning would leave when he was a possible starter, right?
No.
Hey, you know what? You know what's going to be easy, really easy for Auburn to do next year at this time is get transfer offensive linemen.
Yes.
When you've got every position open, because that's what they want, right? That's what the transfer guys want. And so you're going to get, let's say Auburn signs 5 to 6 high school offensive linemen, and then that transfer portal wave comes, February the 1st now?
Well, and that's up for debate.
Yeah, they're working on that
in the show.
Okay. But you get your high school guys locked in. They want it earlier or later?
They want it later.
Good.
Well, several coaches do. Some like Shane Beamer and Kirby don't. But we'll talk about that a little bit.
They want it to line up with the actual date for everything else. They don't want to have their own day. They want it to be along with everything else instead of, okay, the SEC does it 3 months earlier. They want it to be with the NCAA on that.
Okay. I really don't know
what I read on that.
Well, I could see Auburn taking 5 to 6 offensive linemen, high school offensive linemen, and then adding at least 2 from the transfer portal. And I think it'll be right for the taking.
I agree, and I think we're going to take 2 from the transfer portal regardless. Like Cole said, we may take more, but do you get a Stephen Zaire back? Do you get a Keandre Jones back? I think that will kind of drive how many transfer offensive linemen you take. But I'm solid at 8. I think we'll have 8 new guys in that offensive line room this time next year.
I agree. At least 8, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be awesome, wouldn't it? I mean, it really would.
Talking about some folks fired up.
Yeah,
I don't even think they care who it is. Hey, 8 linemen, sweet. Yeah. You know.
Do you think I'm wrong in saying 6 come February signing day and then adding 2 or 3 transfers after that?
I think 6 is the number for high school. I think that's what they want. I think they want 5 1 at each position. So, you know what I mean, a left tackle, right tackle, left guard, right guard, and a center. And then they want a best available.
Right.
You know, whether that's Connor Liu, whether that's, Ian Jaffard, whether that's
Shelton Smith.
Whoever, Clay Whedon, whoever ends up being your best, Connor Stroh, a guy that can probably play multiple spots for you.
Yep.
So,
but that's exciting, man. I haven't seen anything like that since 10 years, maybe.
Probably not in the Gus Malzahn era.
No, I skipped right over him. Turning to defense. So we've got 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 to 4 wide receivers, 1 to 2 tight ends, and 8 offensive linemen total. That's 8, 10, 14.
Hey, by the way, Jeffrey, not to
17.
ruin your train of thought there, but Charles Power with On 3 just dropped his 10 guys who could see a ratings bump, basically guys on the rise.
Tell me Brock Glenn's in there.
He's not. But Jordan Hall, defensive lineman from Florida, is in there.
Who's visiting?
DJ Chester, interior offensive lineman from Conyers, Georgia.
Yep.
I would put him in my class too.
Yep.
I would, as of today.
Now, I don't know. I would have to look in to find out, is him and Jaffard, are they the same spot guy? Is it one or both? I mean, is it either or?
Well, you got, with the 5 to 6 we were talking about with high school linemen, I would think at least 3 would go to guards, and not counting Braden Joyner, right?
Well, I think 2 would go to guards, and then you would have a swing guy. That's how I would handle it.
Okay. Yeah.
I would have 2 guards, and then a guy that's capable, like a Connor Stroh or like a DJ Chester, that could also, or Kelvin Smith.
Yeah.
Clay Whedon, right?
Yeah.
Clay Whedon could be a swing guy, right?
Maybe. You
think he's strictly inside?
I think he's a guard. I think Connor Stroh might be your swing guy because he could play tackle too. It's just at this point, I don't know if they've even narrowed it down that much. I think they want to see where everybody's at and then go and work out the numbers later and see who we can get in that we really like. You know what I mean?
But as far as my take goes, the limited film I've seen of him, Jay Lee, I feel like his athleticism transcends better to guard. That's where he fits a little bit better, where his power can be utilized. I don't know with regard to his feet if he has the athleticism to play on the outside on an island.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I will say this about the transfer portal next year. All these guys going to Alabama and Georgia and thinking they're going to sit or thinking they're going to play, and they ended up sitting 3 years, and they were 5-star, 4-star, high 4-star guys that picked Alabama and Georgia over Auburn, and now see immediate playing opportunity at Auburn. If Auburn makes some noise next year, those are the guys that I'm going to be looking for in the transfer portal.
You dang right.
And I got a couple of names on my list.
I
do.
Sure, of course.
Defense. Turning to defense. This is going to be y'all might have to walk me through how you're going to divide up your numbers here. Are you going to going with a nose guy, a 3, a 5, an edge? How are you taking guys here?
All right, so we'll separate edge, and then we'll just count D-line as one total.
Okay, that's what I did.
I think that's the easiest thing to do for everybody that's watching the show, so we don't get too technical.
Right on. Including me. I mean, I'm learning though, man.
You are. Hey, look, I'm impressed, brother. But yeah, we'll go edge, DL, linebacker, and secondary.
Okay. Yeah. All right. On the DL, shit, man, I'm more open to suggestions here. I haven't really.
Let me ask you this, Jeff. Are you keeping count? Is that what you're doing?
That's what I was doing. I've got 17 right now at most on
17 on offense.
And that's if Auburn maxes out with 4 wide receivers, with 2 tight ends, and with 8 offensive linemen.
Yeah, I was wondering. I knew we were getting kind of high there. I mean, they just signed a class of 17 players. So, I don't know. D-line. I would say 4.
Yeah. Not counting – you're counting – Hunter Osborne.
Yes. Yeah. Any D-line, anybody that's not an edge, D-line.
Anybody that's not on edge. Okay. I like it. He says 4 Jhead.
I'm going to go with 4, including 1 transfer. So I'm going to go with 3 high school guys and 1 transfer. So 4.
I like it.
And we may not have to take a transfer. I mean, if a guy like Zeke Walker takes off, then you don't necessarily need a transfer more per se. If a Jeffrey Imba plays up to expectation, then you're not going to have that situation. But right now, I would say 4 guys. That's kind of my feeling on it. 1 transfer and 3 high school players.
Yeah.
2 edge, 3 edge?
3.
2 to 3 at least, yeah.
2 high school guys to transfer?
Yeah. 2 high school guys and a transfer. I mean, I think if they could get 3 high school guys of the elite ones, they'd take it.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
I
don't think you turn down an elite edge no matter what you've got in the bank.
No, because the problem is right now is you only of the edge players that you've got 3 natural edge guys, and you got a guy like Cam Riley that can probably moonlight out there, and you got a guy like Kobe Wooden that can give you some snaps there. So not a lot of depth. You probably want at least 5 in that room, I would think, Cole.
Yeah.
And if you're going to lose 2, because there's the potential you could lose Leota, and there's the potential you're definitely losing Hall to the NFL. Well, that takes you down to 1 natural edge. So you're going to have to really put some of some numbers in your class towards that position.
Yeah, they got to get at least 4 total transfer in high school.
So right now they've got 3 on the roster, and they're losing Derek.
Losing Derek for sure, and potentially Leota.
I would say they do lose Leota.
Damn, dude, at least 4, right? Just to fill out the depth chart.
Yeah.
Right.
So at least probably 2 to 3 from high school and another 1 to 2 from, the transfer market.
Yeah. All right. I like
I guess
that.
it's still possible to – I mean, there's still going to be a few transfer portal entries, even though the deadline is over.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible, I guess, that they would pick somebody up who would have to sit out the year too.
Well –
right. Why not?
Yeah, it could happen.
If a guy that they're interested in does, but my guess is at the edge position, there is a target in there that's doing some academic coursework, and if we add one, it's going to be one of those guys.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking is happening elsewhere.
Yeah.
There's some people that know that there's an opportunity there for Auburn if they can get some things done this summer. It's not over.
I would agree.
Anybody that's in the portal right now, and if they were to circle back on and grab them, they would be eligible. Right.
Correct. As long as they got in before May 1 or they're a grad transfer and they can get away, they'd be eligible. Yeah.
And the grades are right. Yeah.
Yep.
Cornerback. I always list these as two different categories. You've got safeties and you got cornerbacks.
Yep.
DBs, CBs. CB. Okay, are you putting Terrence Love with the DBs?
Yes.
Okay.
Terrence Love is with my DBs. He's with my safeties as of today. Now, he may grow into a linebacker because he's got that kind of build.
Did we skip linebacker?
Yes, we did. I had already written down my guess. We'll come back to it. Let's keep going with cornerbacks, Jhead. You were saying Terrence Love, who is listed and ranked as a linebacker, being recruited to Auburn to play safety.
Yeah, I got him as a boundary safety / nickel. I'm with Cole on that.
Yeah, nickel could be possible too.
Okay, so how many more are you going to add back there at safety?
At safety, one more. So I'm only taking 2 safeties in this class. I think adding Craig McDonald.
Craig, yeah, that's right. Don't forget about him. That's right.
Boy, gosh, there's some young talent in the safety room. They're going to be there for a while. Gilbert, Caden Bridges,
Wooden,
the only guy.
Don't forget about Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb Wooden. So you got 3 really young players in that at that spot. And I think he's only a redshirt sophomore, and Craig McDonald. So I'm going with 2 guys at safety. And you may only end up taking 1.
Yeah.
I think that might be a spot that they could trim back at. Because I think Puckett's got another year. So if he doesn't leave, you may only take 1 in this class. If you can get an elite one, like the kid out of Birmingham,
Tony Mitchell.
Yeah, Tony Mitchell, then you'll take them all day, every day.
Sure.
And the numbers will work themselves out.
Of course, you only have 1 guy at nickel that you're really comfortable as like a true nickel would be Kaufman. So Terrence Love probably fits there. If that's the case, 1 more safety, but you also look maybe another nickel if you want to keep him at safety. They can kind of play around with that because they have good numbers right now on the roster.
They do, although I think Osbury's going to be a nickel. I think he is a
you got Osbury.
I've watched his tape over and over, and I just think he is a prototype nickel for this defense.
Man, they had some good DBs last class, didn't they?
Definitely. I forgot all about Osbury in thinking about this here.
Because
he's probably safety or nickel too, right?
Yeah, he's a safety or nickel.
Yeah.
Probably the guy who shined the most in the spring was Caleb Wooden, who was the most underrated kid in the class. Nobody really paid attention to him. He's Kobe's little brother. He's a 3-star recruit. And he went out in the spring. I heard his name a few times.
He reminds you of his defensive backs coach, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that went on the field, just started playing as an absolute true freshman.
Same storyline. Sure did.
Yeah.
Beating up a kid from Columbus High School out there on the practice field one day.
Jaron.
Yeah, baby.
Jaron Furr. His cleats are still out there somewhere, man. Zach put the pound into his.
Yeah, he sure did.
God, I forgot all about that. Man, that's crazy how things would leak back then, right?
Oh, I know, right? But that that goes to what we were talking about, how you guys used to have that untethered access back there to the coach's office.
Yeah. If y'all don't remember, Zach Etheridge beat the shit out of I mean, he did. I don't know how it was today. He whipped his ass. Jaron Furr, who was like a 4-star quarterback at the time from Columbus. Was it Carver?
Yeah.
Man, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Jaron Furr. He had a wide receiver with him too, I think.
He ended up going to Florida State.
Oh, yeah. He was built like Kyle Davis was.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember his name. He's obviously forgettable. But anyways, all right, so cornerback, we talked about the 2022 class, defensive back. Cornerback, it's not a huge need anywhere in the defensive backfield that I can think of, right? I mean, 2 to 3 corners, nickels, what?
I'm going to go 2 corners in this class. I don't think we take any more than 2 unless you have attrition at that position that we're not expecting.
I would say that if there is a position that might have attrition, it could be corner. Maybe a guy like A.D. Diamond, because, I mean, you got a guy like J.D. Rim coming in who knows? That guy could come in and be a guy this year.
He could be a dude for sure.
And Keontae Scott, who will report later, proven guy in JUCO. Pritchett and Simpson. Do they have another year?
They
believe
have
both do.
another year, but I think they can.
Mhm.
I think they're probably going to turn pro. I think you lose both of them, which is why you can keep a guy like AD Diamond because I think he's going to slot into the 2 deep, especially if a guy like Osbury is going to be playing nickel. So
Yeah.
I don't know that you lose all that much, and I think if you can bring in 2 high school guys in this class to kind of be, your 3rd deep right there, that would be the plan as of today.
I would say 2 to 3. Yeah. Probably leaning more towards 2.
Yeah, I lean towards 2, and I think we get 1 on the board here in July. I think we're going to get the kid that's the kid's brother from Clemson.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
yeah.
AV Terrell.
Kinda with you there.
I think
He's going back to Clemson this weekend.
going to Clemson this weekend, but we get him, I think, on the 17th, or maybe we get him on the 23rd. So we get that opportunity to counterpunch what Clemson puts out there. And I know Zach has been, he's been the man on that side of the ball.
Absolutely, and there's a good relationship with AV. He loves Zach Etheridge.
Yep.
AV Terrell, Ethan Nation is a guy to watch.
Dale Miller.
Hurley. Still got Jaleel Hurley sitting there. Dale Miller was one that, you could always circle back to him, I would think.
Well, and I know the staff really likes him. Obviously, I think they're going to shoot high, and it's not that Dale's not high. I think he's a fantastic kid and a fantastic player. I just think they're chasing some elite guys in this class.
I agree. And I'll tell you what, though, if Dale goes to IMG and he kills it at IMG, which is not out of the realm of possibility, they know they could probably get him. So
now the word is he's transferring out to Oklahoma City. I think his parents just took a job out there.
Okay.
So I think he's going to be playing ball. I think he's going to transfer or go with his family out to Oklahoma City. So I don't know that he's going to be at IMG this fall, but I'll double back on that.
Interesting. Well, I'll give him a call and see what's going on with him. Which takes us to linebacker. I've got so everybody's on the board with 2 DBs, 2 CBs. How about LBs?
2.
Yep, that's what I got 2. Maybe 3 if they get the right guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Okay. Now I think there will be some attrition at that position. A guy like Desmond Tisdale might not get to play as much as he wants to. He's a pretty good player, I think. I mean, he's a talented guy. He could go somewhere and play. He might be thinking about that.
Sure.
I don't have any intel on that. That's just my thought, right? So Cam Brown, does he possibly look elsewhere if he doesn't get to play a lot?
Yeah.
Cam Riley, if he's really good at edge, does he move out to edge if they don't have the numbers? So for that reason, I go 3.
Okay. I can see that for sure.
And so looking at the minimums at each position and the maximums, we're saying anywhere from 12 to 15 on defense.
Okay.
And putting that on top of the 15 to 17 from offense, you're looking at a class of around 27 to 30.
That would be right.
That's including 27 to 32. That's max, minimum, and max. So anywhere between those numbers. That includes transfers. That's right. Yeah. And you got to think now, Auburn had 17 this year plus 6 transfers, 23. I think that's what was right. Is that right?
8
27.
transfers.
8 transfers. So
25. That's right. That's right. I forgot about the 2. Morris Joseph and Craig McDonald give you 25. Give you 8 transfers, 17 signees, 25. So you're only, that's 27 to 32 sounds like a class from the early 2000s when there was no limit. And that's kind of what we're going through, right? I mean, there's no more limit.
Well, because right now you still have 7 open scholarships. I think we're at 78 scholarship players right now. So that gives you what you can go to 85. So you got 7 open scholarships. You got 17 seniors on this team. So that puts you at 24 before attrition as of today.
Let me just ask you this, Jeffrey specifically, not leaving you out, Jhead.
No, go ahead.
As long as you've been doing this, Jeffrey, how great is it to just talk about this and not have to worry about, but they can only sign 21. They just have to meet 85, however they have to do it. Isn't that great?
And what was, I think it goes back to like Houston Nutt used to sign like classes of 35. I mean, it was outrageous. I think Auburn had a class of 30, and I remember that was back during Hargrave's days. Remember Hargrave?
The old sign and play.
Sign and plays.
Yeah.
Tubbs loved Hargraves now. And it paid off. Anthony Mix went there. I mean, they had some really good Derek Graves went there. There was a lot of good players that could not qualify partially or fully out of high school Tubbs sent him to Hargraves for a year. Did not lose a year of eligibility. Played against some really teams. Came back to Auburn and was dominant.
Yeah.
And who was great? Who was the JUCO in Mississippi where he used to always send kids?
Creeby Diddy, not Derek Graves. I'm sorry, it was Creeby Diddy.
Creeby
There
Diddy.
was
So go ahead, Jay.
There was one junior college, Gulf Coast Community College, that he used to just wear out.
El Toro Freeman.
Yeah, El Toro.
Nick Fairley.
Duke Williams.
Duke Williams, Dick Fairley.
And then he used to use Hutchinson. That's where he got Rudy from. That's where he got Daniel Cobb from.
Hutchinson, just got Marquise Gilbert from there too.
No, Hutch has done a good job for a long time.
Was that where Perche Rodriguez came from? Remember Perche?
Yeah, he came from one of the Kansas junior colleges. I can't remember which one.
They loved Butler too.
Yeah, they did.
Listen, Eddie Graham was a damn JUCO machine. He was fantastic. To me, JUCO recruiting was so much fun. It was so much fun, man. Those kids were like, man, we appreciate you calling. Like, people care about me, man. Like, holy cow! Like, you go out of JUCO, you get lost, dude. Nobody cares.
They're like the middle child.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that was fun, man. The Hargraves days, the JUCO days, and Rudy. You said Rudy Johnson came from. Did he come from Butler?
He came from Butler or Hutch. I can't.
Yeah,
remember.
I think he was. Well, that's good. So that's 27-32. And my apologies on the question. That was another question I think we didn't get to the other night. But LJ Senior High School wanted to know best guess. We've touched on this a couple of times, but he asked today, best guess how many commitments you think we get this month. This month being June. I think we all agree on. No, we didn't.
No, I think we changed the timeline to before September 1. That's what we said, is because it's too hard right now in June. Everybody's just doing their visits. I don't think you're going to see a lot of commitments.
Right.
I think the better question would be before August the 1st.
Yeah. Well, I'd even say September the 1st, because I think that's a truer gauge, because kids are going to be making decisions up until, their season kicks off.
I think you'll have a July might be a hot month, pun intended. With commits just everywhere, not just at Auburn. I think that's when some of these guys that have been in the game for a while start popping off commitments, and
I do think Auburn wants a couple of more guys in the boat before Big Cat, which is going to be that last weekend in July. I think they want more guys in their corner going into that. So I would say at least 2 to 3 more before then. So you've got 4 to 5 guys at that Big Cat weekend, and then you're pushing for, what would that be, early August, having some guys pop in August and getting up to, 10 before the season starts.
And that's kind of how I see it, Jeffrey. I think you're going to get Brock Glenn in the month of June. I think he's going to commit end of June. He wants to rep the brand of the school that he's going to commit to out at the Elite 11 to help push the profile of that school. I think that's the plan as far as that's concerned. And then I think you're going to get Joshua Horton.
When is his? Do we know his date? We know his date.
We do.
I have forgotten it. What is it? July? Early July?
It's early July. It's like July 7th or 11th or something like that.
Gotcha.
And then there's the potential for his teammate, Jelani Berman, to commit at the back end of July. Connor Stroh's in July. Multiple other prospects that we're talking to, I think, can all kind of be on that timeline of July. So, like you said, probably 3 more in the month of July. If you can
How about Raquez McElderry?
There you go.
You think he might be, if he's going to make a change, it might be pretty soon, I would think.
That's what he said. He said in July.
Yeah, because I think he swapped up his official visits. I think Georgia saw what an impression Auburn made, and they're getting him in this weekend.
Really? Are they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's changed that up, and so now he's going to go to Georgia this weekend.
Classic.
And he's got Tennessee on the 17th, and I think Alabama on the 24th. And then he's going to make a decision. So
he's going to Alabama?
I think he's going to go to Alabama on the 24th. I believe that's the last I heard.
Well, that's I know they have been recruiting him, but he when did I talk to him? Sunday? But it's been 5 days. A lot of shit can happen in 5 days. But yes, he told when he left that he wanted to have a final decision as soon as those official visits are over.
Right, and I think those are the 4 he's going to take. He took the 1 to Auburn. He's going to go to Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, be done.
And the reason he didn't mention Alabama to me, either previewing the visit or recapping the visit, is I don't think he felt much love from them. And so if he's going now, they're probably like, hey, don't forget about us. We really like you.
Right.
And, you know what I mean? So I think he can. I'm not concerned with Alabama. I think it's Auburn, Georgia, I think he sticks with Georgia or he flips to Auburn. I'll say that until he proves me wrong. But yes, a lot of guys going to be committing in the month of July or by the end of July. So I think LJ, I think we all agree that the over under. I think we put it at 6.5, and we all took over by the time. I think they're closing in on 10 by the time season starts.
I agree. I think you're probably 8 to 10 in the boat by the time the season starts. But if we're going just for the month of June, I'm going 1, and I think it's going to be Brock Glenn, and he's going to have an announcement towards the back end of June after his OVs are over.
I would say 1 to 2, and I don't know who the other one would be.
Maybe a camp guy.
Yeah, right. I'm giving some leeway there.
Sure.
I think that'd be good. I got some how about yous, man. I know it's been an hour. We need to cut it off so people won't get bored, but got some how about yous this week. I want everybody to be sure to hey man, y'all give us a call on Tuesday nights, man. We had some really good calls this past week on our call-in show. I know T-Dub was in there. Felix the Cat was in there. Had some really good calls, really good discussions. Y'all can check us out Tuesday nights at 6:30 on our YouTube channel, Auburn Live. Anybody got any how about yous this week?
Yeah, I got 2.
All right.
So the first one's going to go out to Danny Archer. Danny,
Yeah.
we're not going to talk about the situation, but I'm glad you got everything squared away, that Jay Lee took care of you.
Yeah.
You're good people in my book, man. You didn't do a damn thing wrong.
No, that was terrible.
You surely didn't.
So keep posting what you post. We love the information that you bring to the book.
And I have no idea who'd do that to him. I tried to figure it out, but I think I don't know if somebody got him mixed up or it was terrible. But yeah, my apologies.
It was a miscommunication.
Yeah. The next was going to be Shacker Jack.
Shacker.
Keep me honest, I made a comment on the show 2 nights ago. It basically said that Gus only had 20 to 25 guys drafted during his tenure. The number was actually 34 to 35.
No, man. No, hold on. You went and explained yourself a little bit later in the same post. You were like, I mean, these are total of all the rounds, but 24 to 25 were in like the top, 5 rounds?
Correct. 24 to 25 were in the top 5. 16 of those were in, the 5th round to the 7th.
Yeah, hell no.
Well, in your mind, you excluded anybody that was drafted 6th, 7th round, right?
Correct.
That's fair.
I'm like, they probably didn't make a roster. I think the only guy that's done well that was drafted late like that is Darius Slayton, who had a couple good seasons with the Giants at the round.
He had a hell of a fantasy football season. I think 2 years ago. Sure did.
He's still going strong.
He's still relevant. Yeah, absolutely.
But Shacker kept me honest. I appreciate you, brother. Look, I am not too big, too big to say I was wrong and eat that crow, baby. So keep me honest. Keep me,
Just get you a little bite, man. That ain't a big crow.
Not a big one, but a little bit.
Shacker with the missing C. I think he was the first guy banned when he was Shacker Jack, and he come back. And remember, he came back and he was like, all right, my bad, and he's now Shaker Jack, but he pronounces it Shacker.
Yeah. He calls it Mr. Lee.
Yeah, right.
I like him better as Shaker Jack.
Yeah,
I didn't like Shaker Jack.
All right, Cole, who you got, big dog?
Clark Tiger. That's Clark with an E. I just got a shout out for him because I've known him for a long time, and
from Athens, Georgia. No, Clark County. Where's Clark County? Isn't that Athens?
I don't think not in that. Clark County's Alabama. He's down there by Escambia, right?
Yeah, you got Clark County in Alabama. That'd be Coffeyville, Alabama, West End, or whatever, Alabama. I used to have traveled all the counties. I'm pretty.
Athens is in Clark County, Georgia.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
With an E.
I stand corrected, baby.
He's infiltrating.
I have to ask him. I haven't talked to him about that, but he's always been great with just giving suggestions, and he knows the stuff, and I've always been fond of him. So Clark Tiger.
All right, man. Those are the best guys, man.
Absolutely.
I've got several, man. We had some. Man, I'm telling you, I appreciate the message board's really good. Don't get me wrong, we still got some dingleberries on there, but we got some. We far outweigh good posters, man. I had some really funny stuff, and if you made me laugh or got a good post, man, a couple series of posts, I'd like to give you a big how about you to Obliterati with a 3. Obliterati. Oh man, yeah, something funny, man. AU 8908, Hidden Tiger, Fear the Thumb, War Damn Steve, new guy.
Fear the Thumb has been one of my favorites lately.
He's awesome. Hidden Tiger made me laugh too. I think it's 80 and 8908. We'll see. Word them Steve Blake R is their new guy, man. He came in this week and want to welcome Blake R. Glad to have him. Sauls is always a good poster. SOLLS. J Davis 5. Big how about you to him. Big how about you to CU_N_AU. It's a good poster, man. And then of course we had the LJ, and I think it's LJ Senior High School 1127. We answered his question on the show. Dingleberry of the week. Pretty status quo here. Kimasabi. Boy, I tell you what. Dingleberry won't get off my ass. Will not get off my ass. And man, I can't decide if Auburn Legacy is a. I can't decide.
He's trying to come out of it a little bit.
I mean, sometimes I'm like, dude, come on now.
I know it's like you read the post, you have to go back. Was that Legacy?
I don't know how to take it. I don't know if he's. It's like that hot chick, and you don't know if she's friend zoning you or not. You're like, I don't know, man.
She's bipolar.
That's a tough call.
She kind of tickled in my inner thigh, but then when I hug her, she pats me on my back. I don't know. Hey, good show, fellas, man. That was I think very informative for me, learning from y'all, man. I appreciate that. Great post on the bunker. I mean, on the corner this week. I'm proud to say that I haven't read the bunker in a long time. I do not miss it. I like our vibe on the corner.
Me too. Me too.
But anyways, thank y'all, man. I appreciate everything. Join us Tuesday night on the call-in show. We'll be back next Thursday on the Triple Pod to talk about this coming weekend as well as next weekend. Going to be a lot to going on. If you haven't subscribed to the site, please do. Be a great time to do so, man. You're going to get your money's worth in this first month, and it's only $8.33. So you will not regret it. I promise. If you love Auburn recruiting, football recruiting, and be expecting some basketball visitors as well this month, this is going to be a great time to join us at Auburn Live on 3. For Jhead, for Cole Pinkston, I'm Jeffrey Lee, man. Stay out of the left lane unless you're passing it, and get the hell back over. See you.